how in the heck did it become Tuesday already? Like, tomorrow's Wednesday, it's the middle of the week, it's hump day. My days keep extending themselves. I swear to God, I still need more than 24 hours just to live one whole day. And although the intensity of that is sometimes exhausting, that my level of dedication to myself, my loyalty to myself, the level that I am willing to play at right now is astonishing to me. You know, 40 some odd days ago, I would have said no way that I could be feeling this good in a time like this. And I use feeling this good loosely because the truth is, my body is feeling like I am in a boxing ring every day with all of the stuff that I'm transcribing and all the feelings that I'm inviting myself to feel, and unlocking some of the, the things that have been locked down for a long time that I've kept hidden and away in the darkness, and deliberately not wanting to take a look at because it's painful. And although I know that there's trauma there and that I, quote unquote, need to access it, the truth is I've been afraid to do so with the thought that if I opened something up, that the floodgate would open and I would never be able to control it or what have you. So it's always kept me sort of in this safety place, if you will. What I'm understanding now is that I'm shifting some of those thoughts to, instead of being in fear and resistance, to leaning in and being curious about. And that's coming through the daily tasks, the daily rituals, the daily commitments, the daily growth, and how I frame it at this point in time. At one point in time where it was like slogging through and it was a job to do and I felt obligated to do so, I'm now feeling more at choice about and empowered by. And that shift has been really subtle over the last month or so, but it's through the dedication and loyalty to myself on a daily basis, being accountable to myself and whatever group I have happened to be operating in, and holding myself to a different level of accountability than I ever have before, because I gave myself huge amounts of wiggle room. And now at this point in time, I'm willing to tell myself the truth about what wiggle room really is, which is reasons and justifiers, and getting lost in the direction that I actually want to go and that I say that I want to go, and allowing things to stand in the way of that and get in the sight line, if you will, of where I want to go, the beacon that I'm moving towards, that I am gaining ever so more clarity around on a daily basis, and a drive and a desire and a passion towards leaning in, and it's pulling me forward, as opposed to, oh my God, I'm going to go there, but I can't really go there. I'm in resistance to, but I'm going to do it anyway. I noticed that my language is shifting from, where I catch myself. I'm thinking about this. I stop wasting your time. When I find myself scrolling on Facebook, or I'm off in some other direction than I should be at the moment, that I could be lending my energy to, that I know that I'm unfocused or what have you. And instead of shifting or telling myself, stop wasting your time, I'm shifting that now to, how can you utilize your time right now in a more effective way? You feel the difference in those two statements? One of them is very accusatory and very judgmental. And it's what I learned. I learned how to be really self-sabotaging and self-defecating. Like, you're this and you're that, and you're no good, and you're too big, and people can't handle you, and blah, blah, blah. All the things that I picked up along the way as other people's truths, and then tried to stick them on me like they, and try and own them as my own truth. The problem is that it's so out of alignment with who I really am that it's caused this split, if you will. And now I'm understanding that it's in the honoring of those places. And instead of understanding it as a floodgate's going to open, I look at it as little treasures every day that I get to, this treasure box. I'm going to take a peek in there, and oh, wow. never thought that I'd experience that. And, so this past week when I was experiencing things that I hadn't the week before and the week before that and the week before that, and not that I've never touched the surface on these things, but at this point in time, there's a level of resonance and a willingness to feel on a deeper level that in the past week when I was triggered by Mila choking on bacon and having this visceral memory of my dad hanging me upside down and whacking me on the back trying to get me to stop choking on bacon, and how violent it was. Even though his intention was of love, his capability at the time was reactive and violent. And I experienced trauma in my nervous system because of his inability to stay calm in that situation and react from a wounded place. Even though I know that his intention was of love, I still had the experience of trauma in that experience. And I'm learning now how to unlock those treasures and take a look and feel some of the feelings, because it's trapped energy. When I talked about Mila sitting at the table and having to eat this food and really coming up against my own stuff around, sitting at the table for hours after people had left, literally hours, knowing that my body was full, knowing that I wanted command over my own body, knowing that I was okay not to eat anymore. And, plus I don't like being told what to do. And that was evident probably from a very young age, and I still feel that way. But in that moment of understanding the trauma, the levels of trauma and violence that were taken out against me because I wouldn't eat everything on my plate. And if I wouldn't eat everything on my plate, I eventually, after sitting there for hours and hours and hours, would get hit with a stick from my adoptive grandparents. Now again, I believe that what they were doing was trying to be loving and kind. I don't believe that they were out to hurt me. I think they were trying to teach me lessons. But the problem is, at that point in time, that, archaic behavior like that was seemingly the way things were done in the 70s. But the levels of trauma that I experienced have me living in this shallow place where I'm barely breathing, and I am always alerted to what's coming next, what's coming for me, what's coming at me. And I'm barely breathing in that place. I'm barely getting enough oxygen to support my life. But it's so familiar, and I've stayed there for so long, and I've been traumatized for so long. But now I get to choose. So even though there's all of this stuff going on outside of me that I can't control, I'm learning how to see the gifts in all of those things. I'm learning how to understand that by dialing myself in to a level of loyalty to myself, genuine loyalty, understanding, faith, knowingness, that I'm on the right track, that I'm moving in the right direction, and that I'm always at choice. Always at choice. And ultimately, I get to decide how this thing is going to play out for me. And what are my expectations of me in all of this? What can I do? What will I do? What am I willing to move through? Because the only way through it, or to the other side, is to go through it. My son literally has tattooed right across his chest right here, "I feel it to heal it." I thought maybe just feeling it would be enough, but apparently he had to tattoo it on his chest so that he really understood and comprehended that. But that's, I'm talking about actually moving through some of the stuff that I've been choking down, shoving down, putting away, hiding away, coveting, masking, protecting for a very long time. But as I let it burble up to the surface, as I, allow that stuff to start to move up, to breathe air, to be seen, to be heard, to be witnessed, and to be released, I know that as those things leave me, as I process those things and I allow those things to fall away, that I am making space inside, kind of like I did in my driveway last week. Now, I don't want to boat anywhere in here, but I can feel myself integrally moving towards my biggest, grandest version of the life that I've always wanted to lead and been too afraid to step into. I have no idea what the outcome is. I don't know the how. But every day I get a little glimpse of what the next step and the next step and the next step, or the chain link in this, bridge that I'm building from where I am now to where it is that I'm going. And eventually, because I take one step at a time, and because I always stand at the precipice and think to myself, okay, what do I choose right now? What would love choose right now? Love and compassion and kindness. And understanding that all of those things are great to give out there. But until I am willing to give that stuff to myself first, it truly doesn't cultivate the kind of depth that it deserves to have. The kind of things that I deserve to create in my life. The things that I've always deserved. The path that's always been in front of me. There's this illusion sometimes, I think, that, after COVID-19, I'll go back to walking my path. There is only one path. And I can be dragged along my path. I can crawl on it. I can be diverted in different directions. I can be stubborn. I can be in resistance. I can skip. I can hop. I can laugh. I can run. I can dance. It's my path. And at this point in time, it's my job, my duty to myself, in honor of my life, to start moving the debris that I've allowed to get in my way and stopped me from living fully aligned and congruent in my most authentic, grandest, greatest version. We're all meant for abundance and greatness and gratitude and compassion and community and inclusiveness and healing and opportunities and expansion. And I tell you, it feels a lot better than the lockdown place. Is there anywhere that you could allow yourself some grace just to take a peek in your treasure box? I'm sure glad that I did make the decision about a month ago. And I continually make that decision over and over and over again because A, I know I'm worthy. B, I'm worth it. And so are you. And C, I'm being pulled in the direction where my passion and my purpose lie. And I can feel it in my bones. I can feel the electric charge that lives within my body. And I know that 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 my life is ready for more. My soul is ready to expand. My stage is waiting for me to fully live and express the gift that I am. And I'm so thankful for anyone and everyone who's watching, believing, cheering me on, being a believing mirror, deriving meaning for themselves, creating change for themselves, loving themselves, being inspired to something new. That's what we're doing here, folks, is inspiring each other. And I hope you're doing something to inspire yourself, love yourself, inspiring others. I so love being here with you every day. Even though in my bedroom I'm like, oh yeah, I said that I would do that. I've got to go and do that. But I get clearer and clearer every day that this really helps me, get out all of the insights that I have so that it's captured in a glimpse, in a moment, that I or anyone else can return to, press play, hear some things, see some things, experience some things that may help along this journey we call life. So much love. See you tomorrow. Be well, my friends.